what is happening today in America with the right-wing conservative Christianity issue, where they are getting involved in politics.
Okay.
And those type of politics where they spread fear and hate, and instead of loving your neighbor, right, feeding them, housing them, visiting them in prison, right, caring for them, they are doing the opposite. Right? They're saying if you're coming as a refugee into our country, you are wrong. You are killing, you are spreading this and this, and all this type, and the figurehead, the new figurehead of this conservative right-wing belief is Donald Trump.
Well, what do I think about that? Well, first thing is...
He's a kind of pope for them, as a big figurehead.
Big blonde pope. So, firstly I'd say, on the positive side for them, St. Thomas Aquinas says every country has a duty to know who's coming into its country, who's going out, because you've got to know whether people are hostile to you or not. So that's a fair position to take. But there's
but that is a very open-ended interpretation, right? Because they do not believe like I believe. Because they don't have the same skin color as I have, because they don't speak the language I do, because their culture is not the same as my culture, right? They automatically assume they're enemies, when that is not the case.
No, that's a fair point to make. But my other issue about the American right is that you see, I'm from here. We have a kind of social democratic system since the World War II and developing before then. So I'm from a poor background, so I believe in a welfare system because I wouldn't have been able to survive without it. But I don't believe. See, in the Catholic Church, we have this teaching against what's called usury. That is taking interest, right?
Yeah.
It's very important.
Unreasonable interest.
Because usurious, in fact, any interest at all historically. So one's got to be really careful about any.
Actually, I remember in the teachings of Christ where he was testing some people. He gave them.
Why didn't you go and give it to the banker to get interest? So that's Jesus will use vivid examples, but usury is really not regarded as a proper thing of what's happened. So we're taking from our own people money which is not making money in any real sense. So
the whole world system is like that.
That's it. And that causes a lot of the tension. And a lot of people who've come from other parts of the world are coming because of this system that's made their lives difficult. So
the thing is, like Hitler, right? He was very good at doing the blame game, diverting, right? Germany's problems are not because of the banks, right, or because of the other powers, right, and because of war that happened, right? It's because of the Jews over there, right? Of the Jews. Jews.
But why do you say Jews?
Because that's what Hitler blamed for Germany.
Was he right? Was he right or wrong, Hitler?
He was wrong. He was wrong, right? And the same thing Trump is doing as well. All of America's problems is not because of big corporations, pharmaceutical companies, insurance companies, investment companies, defense industries, right? Beating down people into poverty while they line their pockets. It's because of those immigrants that are coming here.
I'll tell you something. Spain and Portugal used to rule South America. In Mexico, we had girls getting educated, boys obviously getting educated. Mexico was really doing well. And then the anti-Catholic people came along, the people supported by the Freemasons, and they demolished Mexico. Wars after wars after wars. And in all the parts of South America,
bought the California,
and that's the other point. You see, the South American people would see America as like the big cat ready to pounce and devour.
Is the
So,
Freemason Jews? Are they Jews?
not necessarily.
No.
There's an overlap, but not necessarily. Now, here's the key point about South America. You know, if the church had continued to do what it was doing in Mexico over the whole continent, we wouldn't have seen vast movements of people into the United States. If the United States corporations hadn't, say, for example, massacred the people in Guatemala in the 1930 United Fruit, where we get our bananas from. If there hadn't been the kind of behaviour towards Chavez and now Maduro in Venezuela, you might have had a better country. You see, we can go on and on and on. It's
But
not
does
about
the-
blaming them. Sorry, just not to trash Americans. It's the sin in all of us.